Ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Knight with another Rise of the Witch King commentary starting in the loading screen, because let's do it differently, why not? Again, we're going to be covering the April tournament. It is still the round 1 games between Lazarus and S.P.Q.R. This is game 2 between these two players. I will spoil game 1. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It should be already on my channel, so make sure you look at that first. But basically what happened, spoilers, it was actually a really good game, but SPQR managed to beat Lazarus. He took out his fortress really early, and he actually, Lazarus actually held him off for a long time, but yeah, he just couldn't stop him in the end. And now we have Lazarus as dwarves in the bottom right, and we have SPQR as goblins. This should be an interesting matchup, I'm sure. Well, on the bright side, at least it's not 2.01, where this is basically the worst matchup in the game for goblins. But I don't really think it's an easy matchup for goblins, even in 2.02. And we can see here, Lazarus needs to set up his mine network. He's actually going to build a mine shaft right here. It's kind of in the open. It's easy to notice if anybody goes by. And it looks like, interesting, SPQR is actually sending his builder here. For scouting purposes, perhaps? He sent him pretty far. It looks like he's just running around trying to see if there's something going on. He's actually building a tunnel there. That'll help him spot if anybody is showing up from that direction. He'll get a little bit of warning before they reach his base. First unit of goblins moving forward. Now, I'm not sure if the two players actually went for a random, and if SPQR actually already knows he's up against dwarves, or well, yeah, if they went for random, he wouldn't know. But if they were random, wait, okay, I'm getting confused now. Yes, if they went for a random, then obviously SPQR would have no idea what he's facing. But if they pick factions, then he'd be well aware. We have really fast axe throwers being built by Lazarus. We have some phalanxes. He's actually taking out the inn as quickly as possible. Now, of course, in 2.02, you can't just build Men of Dale from inns. That's an overpowered strategy back from 2.01. Instead, you build hobbits. But they're still very useful. But Men of Dale would have made a much bigger difference. Still, Lazarus already has an archery range. Once he gets that level 2, he can build his own Men of Dale. And that would be interesting. And Goblin Archers showing up to counter these axe throwers. But the axe throwers are very strong. You can see they're actually one-hitting all these Goblin Archers. And SPQR is in a bit of trouble here. He does send some goblins. He uses Poison's Blades. He has more goblins coming. And he just happened to set up his tunnel exactly in the same area where Lazarus was pushing forward with his mines. But Lazarus is going to get hobbits soon. And yeah, he is. He almost has them. Let's just quickly take a look at what the two players picked. SPQR went for War Chant. Lazarus went for Rallying Call. So both went for buffs. Or rather, I think the appropriate term is spell for the kind of damage and armor increase we're talking about. And this mine shaft is being attacked. I do not think these goblins will last, though. Yeah, they're going to go down. They did a sizable amount of damage to the mine shaft, but it still survived. And the thing against dwarves is you need to take out their forward mine shafts. If you can take out their forward mine network, they are in massive trouble. Here Lazarus, of course, has another mine behind this one. And that's usually a good idea. Because if you lose your forward mine, then you have another one right behind it and you can send some units. And it's just as you push forward, you build more mines. And you can see that being used right here. We have another mine shaft being built as this Dwarven army advances forward. And SPQR might be put on the defensive really fast. And the thing is, it looks like he's just massing large numbers of goblins now. And he hasn't really been attacking his opponent. If he just plays defense this game, he's lost. Because you can't just play defense against dwarves, really. You have to attack them. And now things are about to get even more annoying for SPQR because battle wagons are on their way. And all SPQR has is goblins. He really can't win this game just by spamming goblins. It's a strategy you have to use early on, but it's not one that will win him the game. Great use of War Chant. He manages to get his goblins surrounding these dwarven troops, and there are a lot of goblins here. Poison blades will definitely help as well. There are a lot of axe throwers though, and axe throwers happen to be extremely effective against goblins. The hobbits can help too, but it doesn't really look like they're doing much right now. But SPQR has a lot of troops, so he does manage to do a bit of damage. But again, he's playing defense right now, and Lazarus is just going to keep building units the entire time and sending them through his mine. The battle wagon is actually here, and now SPQR is in massive trouble. They're extremely difficult to counter unless you have pikemen or some good archers. Or a hero, I guess. A hero is pretty good as well against battle wagons. Let's see how much money SPQR actually has. He's almost no money. But he did get Azog, and Azog will help kill the battle wagon. But he has no units to support Azog. Actually, he does. He has some in his mine right now, or his tunnel rather. And what is he building? He's building a spider pit. Good idea, because he needs to trample these axe throwers. And, of course, they're good against the battle wagon too. Nice use of the oil barrel ability. Lost quite a few goblins there. But yeah, I mean, at this point, if SPQR doesn't attack, he will lose. That's just the way it is. I mean, he has the tunnel network. He could have tried to get a tunnel down here. Early on in the game, Lazarus wasn't even building mine shafts down here. It was a viable strategy, but SPQR didn't take advantage of that. And yeah, and this is the situation now. Now, of course, you could argue that you needed to stop Lazarus's advance here, but ultimately, he's not going to be able to either way. What he needs to do is try to hurt Lazarus economically and try to prevent him from spamming too many units, maybe by getting one of these buildings, at least. At the very least, he needed to force Lazarus to actually... And nice use of the summoned spiderlings. Or actually, they're not summoned. They're the actual spiderlings being built from the spider pit. And they did their job. They took out the battle wagon. But yeah, as I was saying, he needed to... it's just like the entire battle has been happening up here. And you need to be fighting in multiple different sides of the map. Otherwise, you're just letting your opponent get his entire army to that spot. And the Dwarven army is obviously going to be stronger than the Goblin army early game. Especially with the Axe Thrower spam. And Dwarves summons Hobbits. Just to make things even more difficult for Goblins. All he can do right now, SPQR, is just try to... Oh, and Azog's going to die. Azog is going to die, but incredibly still alive. One of those hobbits just needed to hit him, and it didn't happen. He managed to get out of there. He's actually going to hide in the tunnel network? Yes, he is. But yeah, at this point, it's just a matter of watching Lazarus kill SPQR. And look at how close he's got to his base down with his forward mine. And keep in mind, he has mines down here too. And he has more units in his... mine network. He can actually attack from multiple sides if he wants to. Spider Riders are out, but it's to use Master Cloud's quote, it's too little too late. There's a topic in the Game Replays forums where people were just rehashing quotes from commentators. I think most of those were just Cloud's random quotes that he says. while he's casting games. I mean, this entire match has been one-sided. It was a bad matchup for goblins, but I feel like SPQR could have done a bit more. I mean, I'm saying that as somebody who would probably do a lot worse than him against Lazarus. I'm not a very good player. But I think there were a few other things he could have tried. Certainly he needed to keep up the pressure. I feel like goblins have to play extremely aggressively. You can't win as goblins by playing defense. You have to play aggressively, and it sounds counterintuitive when the enemy army's coming. But if your army's in the enemy's base, he's gonna have to send some of his units to try to stop you. And if you keep him busy and attack from multiple sides and use the tunnel network, you can do a lot. But yeah, this game is gonna be over. And with Lazarus' victory here, he is still in the game. Still in the tournament, that is, really. And they will play a third game to determine who the final winner will be. And yeah, Battle Wagon offering the leadership bonus just to make dwarves even stronger. Azog back out of his tunnel to desperately fight off the attackers. He's making his last stand, and he's going to be murdered in a second. Well, it looks like SPQR just deleted his spider pit. And yeah, that's it. Game over. And round 2, or match 2, I keep saying round 2. It's round 1 of the tournament. But match 2 goes to Lazarus in this game. And now SPQR has 1 win, Lazarus has 1 win. Let's see what happens in the third game.